Can a hero become a villain? Can someone who once fought for humanity's survival become its greatest threat? Throughout storytelling, we've seen characters walk the fine line between savior and destroyer, but few have blurred that boundary as thoroughly as Eren Yeager. Today, we're diving into one of anime's most polarizing characters from Hajime Isayama's masterpiece, Attack on Titan. A character who began as our protagonist, our hero, only to transform into something far more complicated. Eren Yeager was introduced to us as a typical shonen protagonist, passionate, determined, and driven by a clear purpose, to eradicate all Titans after witnessing his mother's brutal death. His famous declaration, "I'll kill every last one of them,"
I'm gonna put a stop to this! I'll kill them all! Every last one!
resonated as the battle cry of a hero in the making. In those early episodes, we saw a boy whose black and white worldview seemed justified. The Titans were monsters. Humanity was innocent. Eren enlisted in the Scout Regiment to protect humanity and avenge his mother. Classic hero motivations that we've seen countless times before. But Attack on Titan is not your typical shonen anime. As the series progressed, the lines between good and evil, between hero and villain, became increasingly blurred, and nowhere is this more evident than in Eren's character arc. What makes Eren's journey so compelling is how it forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about morality in wartime. When does self-defense become aggression? When does protection become oppression? Is genocide ever justified, even to prevent another genocide? Early on, Eren faces relatively straightforward moral choices. Should he join the military? Should he use his Titan powers despite the risk? These decisions are clear-cut compared to what follows. The revelation that there's a world beyond the walls, a world that fears and hates the island devils of Paradis, transforms Eren's understanding of his enemies. His black and white worldview is shattered when he learns that the Titans were once humans, that his enemies are people with their own fears and motivations. This moral complexity reaches its peak when Eren gains access to future memories through the founding Titan's power. Suddenly, he sees not just his enemy's perspective, but the entire tapestry of history and future conflict. He sees the cycle of hatred that has defined Eldian-Marleyan relations for centuries. And most importantly, he sees what he believes is the only way to end it. "I'm the same as you," he tells Reiner in that pivotal basement scene. "That day, I wanted to kill all of you, because of what you did. But then, I lived among you. I ate the same food as you. I slept under the same roof." This moment of empathy, recognizing the humanity in his enemies, makes what follows all the more tragic. Because despite this understanding, Eren still chooses to activate the rumbling, unleashing wall Titans to flatten most of the outside world. To truly understand whether Eren is a hero or villain, we need to trace his evolution throughout the series. His journey is one of the most dramatic character transformations in anime history. Eren begins as an impulsive, rage-driven child whose hatred of Titans consumes him. This Eren is simple to understand. He wants revenge and freedom. There's nothing morally ambiguous about fighting monsters who eat people. The first major shift comes when Eren discovers he can transform into a Titan. Suddenly he embodies what he hates most. This contradiction forces growth. He must control his power to serve humanity rather than indulge his rage. Then comes the revelation about the warriors from Marley, Annie, Bertolt, and Reiner. People Eren considered friends who were actually enemies. This betrayal cuts deep, complicating his worldview further. But the true turning point is the basement reveal. Learning that the world beyond the walls wants his people eradicated forces Eren to expand his perspective. His enemy is no longer just Titans. It's a world of humans with their own justified hatred. Remember that heartbreaking scene where they finally reach the ocean? While his friends celebrate, Eren stares across the water and asks, "If we kill all our enemies over there, will we finally be free?" This question reveals how his mind is already moving toward the unthinkable. The time skip that follows shows us a completely transformed Eren, calm, calculated, and willing to infiltrate enemy territory alone. This Eren has a plan that he reveals to no one, not even Mikasa and Armin, his closest friends. By the time he meets with Zeke in Marley, Eren has become unrecognizable from the boy we first met. He uses and betrays his own brother, manipulates former friends, and ultimately unleashes the rumbling, all while maintaining that he's fighting for freedom. If we had to identify the exact moment that solidifies Eren's transformation from hero to something else, it would be his speech to all subjects of Ymir through the founding Titan's power. My name is Eren Yeager. I'm speaking to all subjects of Ymir through the power of the founding Titan. All the walls on Paradise Island have crumbled. My goal is to protect the people of Paradise, the place where I was born and raised. However, the world desires the extinction of the people of Paradise. The hatred that has been swelling up for so long will certainly not end until not just the Paradisians, but all of Ymir's subjects have been eliminated. I reject this wish. The Wall Titans shall trample all surface formation upon this earth until all lives that exist there have been exterminated from this world. This declaration reveals the extent of Eren's transformation. He has become judge, jury, and executioner for humanity outside Paradise. In this moment, he transcends traditional heroism and villainy. He becomes something closer to a force of nature, pursuing what he sees as the only path to genuine freedom for his people. What makes this moment so tragic is that Eren doesn't act out of hatred. He acts out of a twisted form of love for his friends, for Historia, for Paradise. He shoulders the burden of becoming the villain so that his people might live freely. What makes Eren such a fascinating character is that both the hero and villain interpretations of his actions are defensible. The hero argument points to Eren's motivations. Everything he does is to protect Paradise Island from certain genocide. The outside world declared war first. They created the Titans. They oppressed Eldians for centuries. Eren is simply ensuring his people's survival in the only way possible, by striking first and decisively. His willingness to become the monster, to bear the burden of billions of deaths, could be seen as the ultimate sacrifice. The villain perspective is equally compelling. Regardless of his motivations, Eren commits global genocide. He tramples innocent children who have nothing to do with historical conflicts. He manipulates his friends and betrays their trust. And perhaps most damningly, he enjoys the freedom that comes with destruction. The villain reading sees Eren as someone who became so obsessed with freedom that he was willing to destroy the world to achieve it. In his final conversation with Armin, Eren admits something chilling. Even if I didn't know you'd stop me, I think I still would have flattened this world. I wanted to flatten the world. I'm not sure why, but I wanted to make it all into a brand new land. This confession reveals that beneath Eren's rational justifications lies something more primal, a desire for absolute freedom that transcends reason. There's something monstrous in this admission, something that can't be reconciled with traditional heroism. Yet even this monstrous desire is human. Who hasn't wanted, at some primitive level, to wipe away all constraints and be truly free? Eren simply had the power to act on this universal human impulse. What ultimately pushes Eren into tragic anti-hero territory rather than pure villain status is the series ending. We learn that Eren orchestrated his own death at Mikasa's hands, ensuring his friends would be seen as humanity's saviors. He concentrated the world's hatred on himself so that Paradise might have a chance at peace negotiations. Furthermore, before dying, he uses the founding Titan's power to erase the power of the Titans from the world, fulfilling his original goal of eradicating Titans, just not in the way anyone expected. In his final moments, we see glimpses of the boy who just wanted freedom, who wrapped that red scarf around Mikasa in the snow, who dreamed of exploring the world beyond the walls. That boy still existed within the monster Eren became. So, is Eren Yeager a hero or a villain? The beauty of Attack on Titan is that it refuses to give us an easy answer. Isayama forces us to grapple with the same moral complexities his characters face. Eren is neither purely heroic nor irredeemably villainous. He is, above all, human, capable of both tremendous love and horrific violence. He fights for freedom while imposing the ultimate constraint: death. He saves his friends by becoming someone they must kill. Perhaps the most honest answer is that Eren transcends such simple labels. He is a product of his world, a world of cyclical violence where every side can justify its atrocities. In becoming a monster to end the cycle, he becomes the ultimate example of that cycle's cost. What Eren teaches us is that context matters in evaluating morality. His actions are simultaneously unforgivable and understandable, just as history is filled with unforgivable, understandable choices made in impossible situations. I believe this ambiguity is intentional. Isayama wants us to feel uncomfortable with Eren because we should feel uncomfortable with the moral compromises war demands. We should question narratives that paint one side as heroes and another as villains. What do you think? Is Eren a hero who sacrificed his humanity for his people? A villain who indulged his darkest impulses? Or something more complex that our language of heroes and villains fails to capture? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, remember, sometimes understanding a villain is more important than defeating one. Thanks for watching.